B-52 Stratofortress, the 70-year-old bomber that's still dominating the sky. So, listen to this. The B-52 Stratofortress is not just a bomber, it's a living legend. Developed in the early years of the Cold War, this aircraft has outlasted almost everything from its generation. While most military aircraft are retired after a few decades, the B-52 is still flying strong more than 70 years after its first flight. And what's more incredible, it's still expected to remain in service well into the 2050s, potentially reaching an unbelievable 100 years of active duty. Let's take a deep dive into this iconic aircraft, why it was built, how it has evolved, and why it remains one of the most feared strategic bombers in the world today. The story of the B-52 began in the late 1940s, when the U.S. Air Force needed a new long-range bomber that could carry nuclear weapons deep into Soviet territory, all without needing to refuel mid-air. Boeing responded with a revolutionary design, a large jet-powered bomber with swept-back wings and 8 engines. The first prototype, known as the YB-52, flew in April 1952. By 1955, the first production models were entering service, and it quickly became the backbone of America's strategic bombing capability. The B-52 was born into a world of tension and nuclear threat, where the ability to strike from thousands of kilometers away was not just important, it was essential. So, what makes the B-52 so special? To start with, its size and range are incredible. The aircraft is about 159 feet long, that's nearly half the length of a football field, and it has a wingspan of 185 feet. It can carry up to 70,000 pounds or over 30 tons of weapons. That includes conventional bombs, precision-guided missiles, and even nuclear warheads. Its combat range is approximately 8,800 miles or over 14,000 kilometers without refueling. Thanks to its capability to be refueled in mid-air, the B-52 can literally stay airborne for days. In fact, during certain operations, B-52s have flown non-stop missions lasting more than 35 hours, striking targets across the globe before returning home. The aircraft is powered by 8 jet engines, mounted in 4 twin pods beneath its wings. Although the engines are considered outdated by today's standards, they've proven to be extremely reliable over time. However, the U.S. Air Force is planning a major engine upgrade in the coming years, replacing the old Pratt & Whitney TF-33 engines with more modern and fuel-efficient ones to extend the bomber's lifespan even further. Inside, the B-52 combines old-school analog systems with modern upgrades. The cockpit still has many of its original instruments from the 1960s, but it's also been fitted with new avionics, radar, navigation, and communication systems to keep up with modern demands. One of the aircraft's greatest advantages is its versatility. Over the decades, it has been constantly adapted for new missions. During the Vietnam War, it dropped tens of thousands of bombs in massive carpet bombing campaigns. In the Gulf War, it launched long-range cruise missiles. In the War on Terror, it provided close air support to ground troops by loitering over battlefields and delivering precision strikes. It may be old, but the B-52 can still carry the most advanced cruise missiles in the U.S. arsenal, including the AGM-86 and the upcoming nuclear-capable long-range standoff LRSO missile. These weapons allow the aircraft to hit targets from over 1,000 miles away without ever being detected by enemy air defenses. And despite its age, the B-52 is actually cheaper to operate than many newer aircraft, including stealth bombers like the B-2 Spirit. Its maintenance is well understood, parts are still available, and thousands of airmen have been trained to operate and repair it over the decades. Let's talk about the nickname. The B-52 is affectionately or maybe mockingly known as the Buff, which stands for Big Ugly Fat Fellow. It's not exactly graceful or sleek like a fighter jet, but that's not the point. Its job is not to look good, its job is to deliver devastation from the sky, and that's something it does extremely well. Over the years, the B-52 has been involved in almost every major U.S. military conflict. From Vietnam to Iraq to Afghanistan and beyond, this aircraft has proven time and time again that it's still relevant. While newer bombers like the B-1, B-Lancer, and the stealthy B-2 Spirit have taken on more specialized roles, The B-52 remains unmatched in terms of range, payload, and sheer reliability. And here's the most mind-blowing fact. Some of the B-52s flying today are older than the pilots who fly them. Some were built in the early 1960s and are still going strong. Looking forward, the U.S. Air Force plans to modernize the B-52 fleet further. The aircraft will receive new digital cockpits, electronic warfare systems, updated communications gear, and the new Rolls-Royce F-130 engines, all part of a plan to keep the B-52 flying well into the 2050s. If those upgrades succeed, the B-52 will become the first aircraft in history to serve for an entire century, an astonishing achievement for a design that predates color television. In conclusion, the B-52 Stratofortress is more than just a bomber. It's a symbol of American military power, a masterpiece of engineering endurance, and a reminder that sometimes old dogs really can learn new tricks. For over 7 decades, it has flown across the world, delivering firepower wherever and whenever it's needed. And from the looks of it, this flying fortress isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So the next time you see this massive, rugged aircraft soaring through the sky, remember, you're not just looking at a machine, you're looking at history in motion.